if that one's not working. So, apologies, 1 second. Ah! Something I thought was working has apparently decided to not work. So, I gotta do a little bit of switchy workaround stuff for a second down under my desk. Oh. So, apologies while I get that sorted out. But I am here just playing around with power cables real quick. There we go. Okay. All right. All right. We're good now. It should be heating up now. So, what I was doing there was plugging in a hot glue gun. Because we are actually using a hot glue gun today. Of all the random stuff. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to try making some forest bushes, actually. I saw a neat little tutorial about making them with rope, and I kind of wanted to give it a go. So I thought that would be kind of fun to do together, something new. There can be a couple of different methods we're going to try, or like variants of the same method, I guess. And I just thought that would be pretty darn cool. So my goal is to make some bushes for these terrain pieces that we made before. These like tree little splots, right? I want to make some bushes. There's a little bit of more stuff in here, right? Because they look cool for like a manicured forest, but like, hello. But like, um, I want them to be a little more like dense, right? So like, I want some bushes and stuff in them. So I thought this would be pretty fun. Plus, we get to use a hot glue gun, which I don't often use on the channel. So actually, I think this might actually be my first time using a hot glue gun on the channel. So we got two different things. We have coir rope. My brain wants that word to be coil, but it's not. It's coil with like a lisp. Coir rope? I don't know. It was like $4 at Lowe's, so I picked this up, and it looks like this. And it's like really scratchy, like nasty rope. And the other one I got was jute twine, and this is a lot more normal kind of twine. There's all the numbers if you want to find them on the Lowe's website. They were like $4 or $5, and I thought we would try both of them out today. See what we got. Also, my hot glue gun is already hot gluing. Damn. Okay, that's a lot faster than I remember that being. So we got to move. Step one then is gonna be. How the fuck do I get this open? Step one, opening the packaging. There we go. Okay. So step one is going to be taking some of this rope and cutting it down into like little chunks. So we're going to cut down a couple little chunks of this of various lengths, and then we can work with them after that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull them apart like that, because it's a couple little different twine pieces kind of going together there. So we're going to rip those apart, and then we're going to take our friend the hot glue, and we're going to put a little dab on the bottom of each one of these. And again, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if this will work, but it worked in the tutorial I saw, so we'll try it out. And then we're going to plop it down just on our desk here. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make a base. God, I remember why I don't like working with hot glue. Also, this hot glue gun I think is older than I am, legitimately. I think I had this hot glue gun like as a child. Like you can see all the stuff stuck to it. Like, no shit, I legitimately think this hot glue gun's from my grandmother. But the point of the hot glue here is to kind of make a base for our bushes. And we're gonna kind of use the rope as like the leaves, not leaves, the like sticks and stuff holding the bushes together. So after it hot glues and after that dries, so we're gonna do one little more, do one more, and then go. All right. And then we'll actually get some twine out too. We'll do the same thing with some twine. Now I think these ones are going to look better, but we'll try the twine too. So we'll get a couple similar pieces of twine. We'll get like, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them. And we'll glue them down. And then we're also, since the hot glue gun is out, I'm going to work on my slaanesh bases. Because I've been legitimately meaning to work on these bases for like 6 months. And I just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. But since I broke out the hot glue gun today, figured I would work on it. All right, so same thing as before. So we're gonna glue gun the bottom, plop her down. Now this is a silicone mat I'm gluing these to that I got from somebody who went to Adepticon, because I've never been to Adepticon. Somebody's like mega into like the warhammer like tournament scene, so Adepticon fits him a lot more than it does me. But they were giving these out, so you got a whole bunch of them. They're really cool. So this is a silicone mat. So I should be able to pull this hot glue right off of it. Now we got some slaanesh. Well, yeah, I want my slaanesh to be on kind of, how do I describe this without really saying what it's supposed to be? Clumpy white liquid sticky bases. Haven't used a hot glue gun in a while. That's what I want my slaanesh to be on. So we're gonna use the hot glue gun here to make some clumpy kind of mounds on the bases. Yeah, and it'll get a nice kind of sticky, kind of moundy look to it. That's sort of our goal here. All right. And then we will hit that with white, and then we will hit it with some gloss varnish. So let's do a couple of those because they'll be fun to do while we wait for some of the glue to dry on our other guys. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, got a couple of those. And then we're going to unplug this thing because it doesn't actually have an on and off switch. And since it's still leaking everywhere, we'll keep doing some slaanesh bases till she cools down. So yeah, I've had these slaanesh guys painted forever. And I have a keeper of secrets who's like ready for painting, but I never finished any of these, so I didn't finish her either. And I really need to do that. You can see there's a whole bunch of like Shiba Inu hair on these because they've just been sitting in an open topped box for a while. Which it's not necessarily the best, but I actually have a couple different forces that are kind of in this same like finish, right? I have an entire Genestealer cult, like army, who are all waiting for their bases, and then I have an expansion to my Skaven army, and then I have a whole bunch of like chaos cultists as well, who are also waiting for their bases to get finished, and I haven't done any of them. So this would be my first step towards getting that done. All right. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it somewhere where I don't burn myself on it. So it's going to go in this gunpla box over here. I burn myself on it anymore. And then, oh, going to keep going with our bushes. All right. Okay, so these guys are all kind of glued down now. So what I should be able to do is pull them off, and now they kind of have a little base to them, which is nice. And what I should be able to do, if the tutorial I saw was correct, I should be able to like split this out now, kind of like pull it out. So it's kind of like frazzled like that. Yeah, that's looking pretty damn good. Okay. Yeah. This one's going to be a little tall, but yeah, the idea is kind of to get like it kind of getting kind of frayed and stuff, right? Like that. That's kind of the idea. Let me zoom in a little bit. Right? So kind of looking like a tumbleweed almost. So this one I think I'm actually going to clip down first, and then we're going to try the same thing. And you just kind of pull it out. Yeah, just sort of like fray the kind of the rope out like that. I think that's going to be perfect. Yeah. All right, so let's do let's try one of the twine ones, see if we can get the same thing. Thing is, I don't think the twine looks as good like on this lower part. Yeah, I don't really like that, to be honest. I don't really like the twine ones. Yeah, I don't like the twine ones. We won't do the twine. Happy I got this rope then. We'll do like, I don't know, a couple of these. I mean, shit, we might as well do them all. There's what? Only a few of them, really? There's what, 6? Might as well do them all. The next step for these is going to be getting like leaves on them. But yeah, I think that looks absolutely fantastic. I think that's super dope looking. What we'll do is we'll clip some of them down, and then we'll keep some of them really tall. Yeah, because I was looking at my bases, and I was like, man, I want like some more like little plants on these tree bases that we made. What you could do even, you could actually paint these too. Like if you want to hit these with spray paint. But I actually kind of like the weird color that they are. This kind of off-brown rope color is really good. But if you don't like your rope color, you could easily spray paint these. Plus, I don't want to make you guys wait while I go and spray paint these. So. But yeah, I think that's super cool. Looks like really good, like, roots of different bushes and stuff. But yeah, streaming a little later than normal today. My husband wanted to start playing World of Warcraft again. So, God, that game can just like take over your life in like 2 seconds. So we got to the new expansion and started this new thing called Delves, and they're so fucking cool. They're like little exploration dungeons. They're so neat. I'm like in turbo love with them. But I think we're like level like, I don't know, 71 or something. Like we just started the new expansion. But man, it's been like, oh, big time taking over my life. Alright. We're breaking out the box. Why are we breaking out the box? Because I don't want flocking to get everywhere. So I'm going to take my little guy here. I'm going to fill one of these chasms up with some glue. And what we're going to do is we're then going to paint that glue onto our homies here, onto our the tops of our little guys here. Really, if these were all like glued on like a popsicle stick or something, this would be super easy to do. Because I'm holding each one individually like a derp. It's going to be much harder. So if you were to do this, I would highly recommend gluing these all to like a popsicle stick or something like that. And then you can kind of like just do them like all kind of at the same time without having to worry about handling each one. And they should still peel up pretty easily from something like that. Yeah, just trying to get it all over these crazy bush things. Also, I found a neat little hobby store in Kaneohe. For anyone that doesn't know, Kaneohe is the like eastern side. I think it's technically like the northeastern. It's kind of like the more jungly side of Oahu. It's where it's like a lot more like plants and a lot less touristy, that kind of stuff. Um, and yeah, neat little hobby shop. Guy had all these like old models and stuff. A lot of like old Airfix models and one, I want to say 35 scale, like tanks and stuff. Pretty neat, pretty neat. Um, like none of that's really like my jam, right? Like I don't want to get into 135 modeling, but it was cool. So as I was talking to the guy, he he was telling me about 172 models. And I remember as a kid, I had a box of like little soldiers that I got with my mom when I was like on some kind of vacation. And like I've kept those soldiers for like ever. All right, because we're not on a nice thing, we're just gonna do this the really kind of crappy way. But I've kept those little soldiers forever, and I've always really wondered kind of like what they were. And yeah, apparently they're 172 scale little troops. Okay, yeah, this part's really hard without having like a consistent kind of area. But we're making it work, so that's what we do. That looks fucking dope though. Oh my god, that looks so dope. Look at that. Hit the other side? Yeah, that's fantastic. This one needs some love. Oh yeah, that's super cool. Nice. Alright, we're gonna set this aside for a second to dry. before we start messing with them too much. And while we do that, since we still have some of this glue out, we will apply that to our slaanesh bases. Because see, we kind of got these mounds now, but we want the mounds to be a little more gooey. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our glue and we're going to kind of paint it around the edges of the mounds. So we kind of want to fill those gaps in a little, make it a little more like liquidy looking, I guess. Than what we got now. So we kind of got the mounds, which is good. We want the mounds, but we also want it to kind of be flowy and gooey looking. So, and the last couple steps for this is going to be Mod Podge. And that will also help do this. So we don't have to do like an amazing job filling in these gaps here, but I figured a little bit would help. It's not gonna hurt, you know? Because our last step here is going to be Mod Podge. So, um, this will also help us cover over any of those stray details that are still there on the bases as well. Because some of these guys are from Underworlds. And that means they have like stupid sculpted bases. I hate sculpted bases. So we want to cover up some of those details as we can. Although these Underworld models are really cool. They're really fun. But man, do I hate sculpted bases. And the problem is that all these are like monopose, right? So yeah, that's kind of like a thing with GW nowadays. Everything is monopose. But at the same time, it also means that lots of times you can't do things like actually just put these guys on other bases because like half their body or whatever will be attached to the actual base. Or you know, like their feet will be there, or you know, the base will have like their legs on it or something, and it's just like, God damn it, you know. Like when it's like that, you can't do jack about it. You just kind of have to. You just kind of have to deal with it, you know, and build it kind of as the GW wants you to. It's funny. I'm finally getting away from GW, right? I'm finally getting free of their yoke, and I'm fucking signing myself up for the yoke of Blizzard. Feels bad, man. But I enjoy playing games with my husband, even if, you know, I have got some emotions about the game, you know. Just happy to play with my husband. And the new Delve things are really freaking cool. Just cool content. Okay. All right. Let me set those to the side. And we can go back to our bushes and see how they're doing now. All right. Here we go. I think that's super cool. Look at that. I think that's super dope. Let's put some on. Is really what we could do is we could do like a couple kind of together and make like a big like group of bushes, and that would be pretty cool. But let's try some of these little ones first. So we got this guy here, and what we're going to need to do is we're actually going to attach these with super glue, and then we're going to have to let the super glue dry, and then we will put paint over top of it. So these little tree forest guys we've been building here, they're kind of the like the project that keeps on giving. So we keep adding and doing new stuff to these, and it's kind of fun, to be totally honest. All right, and then let's see, we'll take this guy as well, and we'll put him on this one too. And what I really need for these is some different color flocking, because kind of all my flocking is the same color. And they would probably look really dope with different color flocking. Yeah, those are super cool. They look really neat. So we'll let those dry for a minute, and then we will put some texture paint around their bases and kind of work them into the terrain. Let's see. We'll give this guy one too. Let's give this guy the kind of like bent over, fucked up looking one. They're a little flat. I wonder if maybe what I should do, I could put some like clump foliage on the tops instead of just going straight to, what's it called? I could do that. Could also put them kind of together too. Make kind of like bigger bushes. Let's try that. See if that works. Also, if you didn't want to use hot glue, you could probably just use super glue. The hot glue did make little nice flat bases for these because it has more body than just super glue does. And look, you can make big, like fucked up looking bushes that way. It kind of looks like someone split that one in half. Alright, and then this guy needs just a little more green on him. There he goes. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Very different, you know? And I guess we'll hit this one too. So I've got a whole bunch of these. And this one's got a whole bunch of stuff on it, so we'll do this one too. We'll put it like right here. See, this one has some clump foliage, right? That's sort of like what the bigger, darker bushes here are. They're clump foliage. And also just tons of Shiba Inu hair. Oh my god. Oh, it's actually two different ones. All right, we'll give him one. And then we'll actually give the other one to someone else. So I think I've got 4 of these here on my desk. There we go. These trees being a little fibrous means that they have fibers, and that also captures all the fucking dog hair. So, yeah. Alright, where's this one gonna go? Kind of thinking like right here in the middle, to be honest. This big patch of kind of like tan there from the dry brushing. Alright. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Adds just a little bit of different bit of foliage to the ground. That's pretty sweet. I like that a lot. You know, honestly, while we're here, I'm going to use those scissors. I'm going to clean up some of these fibers. Yeah, we'll just go around and clean those up. You know, like stray fibers that are just on this thing. These fibers are from this polyfiber stuff. which is fantastic. It's made the body and like the bulk of the tree, and it keeps them being really light. Um, but at the same time, it does mean that there are just genuinely kind of like fiber bits everywhere. And they don't look terrible, but like I don't like them, especially hanging down the bottoms. Okay. You know what? Screw it. Let's go around and do that on all these real quick. We gotta give that super glue a minute to dry, or it's gonna get all over our brush when we go to do the texture paste over top of it. So one of the ways to kind of, if you only have one color flocking like this, I could actually take uh, like a speed paint and kind of like dab it along, and it would look pretty good. But honestly, I got some other texture paint, not texture paint. I got some other flocking really cheap on Amazon. So I'm just going to kind of dab glue on different areas and hit them with different flockings to give the trees a little more variation. So some of the trees will still be this color, and some will have like spots of other stuff on them, which should be pretty cool. All right, texture paint time. All right. Now we're gonna take our texture paint here. See, some of these are a little less flat than I would like them to be. There we go. We're gonna take our texture paint. We're gonna take our brush, which I guess still has a bunch of glow in it. And take a little bit of texture paint, and we're gonna just bloop 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 bloop. All right, we're trying to. Ideally, you would do this before you flocked the ground, but I didn't think about this and or learn this method early enough, so I had flocked the ground long before. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I dig that. Because that kind of stands out so much, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hit some of the areas. Get a couple other little mud clumps kind of around. These grass tiles are very grassy. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so we're gonna go around and we're gonna do that for all those. And then we're actually going to explore another bush method too that I kind of just thought about just now, so we'll see if she works. And if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, that's fine too. All right. But I think these are awesome. I think they're super cool. Okay, let's see. Don't need that much. It's just one little bush. Oh, thank you. My husband got me some kind of drink. That is very nice of him. wonder what he got for lunch. I think he got some kind of lunch delivered. What is this? Let's see. Ooh. Ooh, that's really good. It's some kind of chai. Which I'm wondering if that means he got us Indian food. And it's funny, I used to hate Indian food. And then I had this Indian coworker named Ritesh. And I think just his like stories about it and stuff totally changed my opinions about it. And now I just absolutely love Indian food. And it's kind of when I talk about like, you know, talking to like high school kids and stuff and like just the impacts of like actually like having diversity and stuff, like it's one of those things that I actually cite all the time, like my dislike of Indian food until I had like really experienced it. Because I just had never really had it, like really had it growing up, right? So like I was not a really big fan, and then man, it just after working with my coworker, just really changed my opinion on it. Now I'm a huge fan of it. So yeah. Okay. So let's try another method really quick, and it's going to involve that polyfiber stuff I showed on the camera a minute ago. Oh, so good. So tasty. All right. So, we've looked at this before on the channel. So this is what we made those trees out of. And I'm wondering if I can make kind of like a fluffy bush out of this. Less so than like a root style bush. You know what I mean? Like, can I take this and like dip it in PVA and then basically roll it around in some flocking and get like a fluffy looking bush? Because the other ones are kind of like weedy, and I think that looks awesome. But like, I want to know if I can also do like a fluffy bush. So ideally, I wonder if we could actually break that hot glue gun out again, make a hot glue gun base for this. Yeah, let's try that. Give me a second while I reinstall the hot glue gun. Man, I need to get a hot glue gun with an on-off switch. But like, real talk, I legitimately think this thing is at least 30 years old. Ugh. Speaking of things that are old, myself, no. My resin 3D printer. I've had her now for 4 years, 5 years, something like that. She's done shit tons of printing, entire armies, giant centerpieces, and she stopped working on me. Whole thing just won't turn on anymore. I hear it getting power, and then it's just like it doesn't initiate. So this coming week, since I'm going to be home again, I'm actually going to rip it apart. So I have to empty it and all that kind of stuff. And then, hi, buddy. Come in to visit me? Yeah, you did. You did. And then, yeah, I was going to give it another try. See if I can get it to work again. Because I really love that thing. And if I can't get it to work, Black Friday's not too far away, so I don't really want to spend a lot of money right now if I can help it. Um, so I will definitely wait until the holiday, until Black Friday to try it, or to maybe get a new one. But yeah, I had an Elegoo Saturn. Hi, buddy. So nice you came in to say hi. Sorry, my dog came in. You can probably actually, you might actually be able to see him a little bit right there. No, you can't. No, they can't see you. I can't see you. No, let's see if we can change that. Boop. That's his butt. There he is. There he is. There he is. There's Mr. Puppo. Yeah. Coming to say hi with us. He's a good boy. All right, and then we're back. So speaking of moving the camera all around, I actually have my head camera up and working now, finally. I lost it for like almost a year, and then it was just in the goddamn hallway. So yeah, I have my head camera up and running. So I think I'm gonna do a like learn to play for Torch and Shield, which is like a dwarf delving game. Um, just kind of ironic because I was just talking about how much I like the delves in World of Warcraft. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna do like a let's play, kind of let's learn to play together game for that this week. Assuming I'm home again all week, I think I'm probably gonna do it on Tuesday. I think, because on Wednesday I've got some people coming to look at stuff at the house, and then it's also Halloween, so we'll do a Halloween special stream. What am I doing yet? I don't know. I was gonna special 3D print something, but yeah, with my 3D printer dead, it's not gonna happen now. So um, okay, bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay. Hi, button. Hello. Hello, my good fellow. Shiba Inus are awesome dogs, but they're not usually very affectionate. So it's really nice to see him come in and like want to hang out. He usually only does that when I have food. So this is actually very, very, very sweet, special. All right. Uh, let's start looking at our boys here. I think we're going to have to trim them up a little bit. So let's do that because we have a whole bunch of extra kind of fibers going everywhere we don't want. Yeah. Pull one up. Oh yeah, I think that's going to work an absolute charm. Oh, this one's still a little warm. But yeah. So back to World of Warcraft. Man, it's weird to be back in that game, to be honest. See, my husband had installed a game called Fellowship, and we were playing that. And honestly, that game is just like a gateway drug back to WoW. Because it does enough of the things that you remember that WoW doing and being fun. But it also doesn't have enough to fully replace that kind of like tab targeting, like dungeon experience. Like, there's just not enough in that game to do it. So it kind of really like it gives you that first hit for free and then makes you really want more kind of thing. So my husband reinstalled WoW. Even though I got some emotions about it, I said I would join him. I'm not really a big fan of a lot of Blizzard's consumer practices, I guess. Like they're very anti-consumer. A lot of the same ways that GW is. Lots of like FOMO, overpricing things, all that kind of stuff, right? And I talk about this a lot. I'm a giant anxiety ball, right? FOMO really bothers me. Um, and Blizzard loves FOMO so much, just the same way GW does. And it just, it gets me, All right, so let's go ahead. Let's use this glue. I expected my slaanesh bases to dry with the glue already, but they are not drying, so I don't think we're going to get to finish those today. You know what? Does dipping this work better? No, dipping works way worse. Okay, do not dip these. That works really bad. Don't do that. My dog agrees. He just snorted at me. Man, the Indian place has the best chai. Alright, so we're going to do 2 of these, and then... Sorry, I'm all over the place. Talking about WoW, talking about my dog, talking about the hobby stuff. I haven't even gotten to talk about Torch and Shield yet. I picked that up last week. It's like 20 bucks for the rulebook. And I got the PDF. And it's like a dungeon delving dwarf game. It's got some kind of like horror vibes to it. It seems really fun. So I actually started putting a team together for it. But instead of dwarves, I'm going to play it with Skaven. So kind of the same thing that we did before. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to that flocking. This is why I didn't put the flocking away yet. And we're going to take some, kind of sprinkle it on our guy here. All right, and then we're going to see how he looks in a couple of minutes. Kind of working it all around. All right, and then we'll set him off to the side and we'll do the next one. Same kind of thing. Okay, set him off to the side. Okay, let's keep going. Let's do all 5 of these, and then we'll try putting them down and see how they look. Yeah, because the slaanesh bases are not drying fast enough. I put the glue on really thick, so to try to even those edges out. So, yeah. Go. All right. Spray adhesive would probably work fantastic here, by the way. I bought some, and honestly, I didn't like how it worked, so I stopped using it. I bought like spray on Elmer's glue. Was not a fan of it. Because it just got on everything, and I really only wanted it in certain areas. But it was just such a wide like angle blast that it's probably me not being able to fully control it and use it, but like I was not a fan. Yeah, these would have been really hard to do if I hadn't made the base for them out of hot glue. These would have been borderline impossible to do because they're hard to kind of form anyway, right? Like I'm putting the glue on kind of trying to shape the bush like at the same time almost, you know? These are going to need to dry a little bit before we put them onto the bases, though. They're not going to be as quick drying as the other ones, just because the quantity of glue I'm having to use here is way higher. But you'll get to see them built at least, even if not put on the bases. So, and then we can determine if we like how they look or not. Spoiler alert, I think they're going to look fucking dope. So when I do my Let's Play, I'm planning on using the head camera, because the head camera is actually not super good for painting, but it's going to be phenomenal for like playing. It's going to be like just absolutely wonderful. Okay, that's pretty great. That's also pretty great. You know what? We can put it probably like one or two of these on. Right? Once that white dries, because the glue will dry clear. Oh, these are equally great. So yes, we got kind of like weedy, kind of like nasty bushes, and then we got kind of big, thick, full bushes. All right, so we kind of made both kinds here. I was planning on getting one of the slaanesh bases done in the stream too, but they're just not drying fast enough for that to happen, so we'll do them another time. Yeah. So good. So good. All right, let's see. Let's put this guy on this one, and we'll put him like right here. Oh, that's gonna look so great. Holy shit. Okay. We got little weedy bushes, and then we got big bush boys. Oh my god, yes. So good. Adding a nice bit of like ground cover to this. God, if you wanted to use hedgerows as polyfiber stuff would be great for that too. If you wanted to do hedgerows. Go. Yeah, and then he'll get a little bit of brown around the bottom. And that'll be super dope. Look at that. Look at all the different kinds of little foliage there. We got these little like these nasty kind of shrub bushes. We got these big thick bushes. So good. So good. Push that down for a second to make sure she's sitting flat on all sides. Yeah, because my plan for these kind of bush things with that, they would be kind of like, they would work as cover so you could see through them and shoot through them. So they'd be like cover, but they would also be difficult terrain. And frankly, I just didn't have enough shrubs and stuff in them for to really count as difficult terrain, in my opinion. So these are really nice. They add a lot. Yeah, let's put them all in the bases, and then I'll probably call it there because these are going to need a little while to dry before I do the dirt on them. So yeah, so I'm setting it down, and then I'm using the razor blade, kind of pushing it onto the base. Right, because again, this is one of those things that like would be a million times easier if you waited till it was fully, or like if you did this before flocking the base. Um, but we don't have that luxury, so that one's got a little couple spots I want to fill in there a little bit. Just get a little bit of the flock of my fingers and boop 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 boop. Yeah, that's cool. And right there you can actually see two of them like next to each other. That's really neat. Yeah, I dig that. All right, so let's see. Let's give everybody. Do we need to give this one of these? I think we won't give this one of these. Or if we do, we'll put it. Let's put it right there. I got 5 of them. And I got 2 more bases to do, so one of them's going to get 2 bases. Or 2 bushes. So yeah, look at that. We got 2 new methods of doing bushes today. We got big, thick bushes, and then we got really scraggly, kind of nasty, like horrible bushes. So. The hot glue as a base works a charm here. An absolute charm. Like, if you take anything from this video, the hot glue as a base is the really good. It's worked really fantastic on each one of these. Alright, so let's see, we got what? You got one already? You need one? Yeah, and then we need one more. So, I think we'll put this guy, like, dead center in, like, the middle, maybe? Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, like right there. And these still have, I kind of want to leave room on these for models to still be able to like stand inside of them. So like, they can be like inside this cover, right? Like, so like instead of having to shoot through it, they can move through it. Maybe if they're inside of it, they won't get, the enemy won't get cover, right? But if like there's a guy on this side and a guy on this side, they'll both get cover. But then it's nice because the bushes also just add a little more denseness, so it does look more like what should be difficult terrain. So let's do another one. We're gonna see, we got one more to do. We're gonna put it on this guy. I kind of want to put it like right here, to be honest. I think that'll be kind of good. Yeah, and then just like the other little ones, we will hit these with texture paint to get rid of that glow. So you're not going to be able to see the glue. It's going to have texture paint around the base. But it's going to need time to dry. Oh, that one's got a big white spot. Let's fix that. There we go. Hell yeah. Man, that's so good. I love that. We got some nice little bits of nature there. Yeah. So there you go. Two different ways to make bushes. Both of them are pretty legit. The white you see in these big bushes, that will go away as it dries. So like you won't see all that white spot there. That'll go away. But yeah, that's great. And if you wanted just like scraggly, like Wild West bushes, you could probably actually use the rope and just not put any flocking on them. And they'd probably look like scraggly, like Wild West bushes. But yeah. So there we go. There's our kind of like finished, I am gonna actually call these finished now. I think they look great. I'm gonna hit the bases, obviously, but yeah, I'm actually gonna call these finished now. These are our finished like forest tiles. So yeah, that's super cool. Nice. Well, I'm gonna call it there because our Slaanesh guys are still drying, so we're not gonna get to them today. But I'm gonna call it there, and on Tuesday we will be back, hopefully, with Torch and Shield. It's my goal, anyways, to do that on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we'll be back with Halloween stream. What are we doing? I don't know. But we're going to do something Halloweeny because I want a little bit of Halloween fun before the Halloween starts. So, yep. So those are what we're going to be getting up to. One of the two. I'm going to do something. But I'm going to go ahead and call it there. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a good one. And as always, keep on keeping on.